You know, I mean, that's the old Dutchman spirit, and you know, that's always good. Well, that's great to have you, and actually, we met just a few weeks back.
Right.
Through you know, a mutual friend of ours who's no stranger to the radio. The Colonel has been on numerous times, and we actually want to send good wishes out to his wife, who is headed to the hospital and have a little surgery, but everything will be fine, and we'll wish her all the best without a doubt. So Denise Williams is also with us this morning, and you put the woman in charge, and that's a smart thing. You know, either have them handle the money like my woman does, or my women do, or if you, you know, put them in charge, then you're going to get things done. Denise, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm actually an Illinois native. I come out of Whitetail Country in Illinois, Pike County, Illinois. Been in Missouri now for about 26 years. I work at People's Savings Bank. Been with them for 17, and I've been a member of the Herman Area Youth Deer Hunt since its inception 6 years ago. So very fortunate to be a part of this event.
Well, welcome to the White Mule, and thanks for doing what you're doing. And
yes, I'm Kirk Cook, and I joined the organization, I believe 2 or 3 years ago.
Great.
So through a mutual friend that is part of this also. So been excited to be part of it and try to grow it a little bit out, a little east towards New Haven area.
well, Mr. Cook, is it K-O-C-H?
It is. Yep.
Yeah, K-O-C-H. So there's C-O-O-Ks from down there too at New Haven, and so I didn't know which it was, but good for you to be here this morning, and it's good to have you at the White Mule. This gentleman here to my left is someone, I actually looked at him twice because you're out of uniform today.
Right.
AJ Purdy owns the Stony Hill, well, your wife and you.
Mom and Dad.
Oh, your mom and dad. Yeah, they own the Stony Hill Hall, and we frequent that place. Not often enough, because you know where we're at.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of the time, you know, we're here, but the Purdys run a great business down at Stony Hill, and it's good to have him here. And he's got,
That's my little boy Dozer.
we got his son with us also here this morning. So
He's hungry right now.
he's hungry. Well, if my daughter's listening, you know, she could bring some snack sticks out, and if not, you're welcome to go over there and go get in the cooler and grab some, so we keep everybody happy here. Well, let me go back here to Ron a little bit, and Ron, tell us a little bit about the conception of this, you know, and how you got going.
Well, when the Conservation Department started the youth hunt season, I mean, it's just, they go, now they don't get to go check their deer in like we did years ago and have the
That's a big
fun.
part of the fun, right?
Well,
you know, the
sit-
bragging rights, you know?
And sit by the campfire, which we've had a campfire farm, and we have hot chocolate farm, and I think some of the dads really get jealous that they can't go sit by the campfire because we have the pieces cut off about that high, so it's limited to the boys and the girls. Kids today have changed from what you and I went through. They're on the computer all the time or on their game they hold. They don't get to spend a lot of time with their parents, and parents, most time both parents have to work. And when do they get time with their kids? So we've hopefully created where the kids get to spend time with their parents and kind of get that relationship going back and forth again. And then if they get a deer, they bring it up there, and their mouth can be that wide and it smiles like that. I mean, it's unbelievable. And one little boy comes up to me every year he gets a deer, and on my shirt, Mister, I know you're do something here. Can you go and have your picture taken with me and my deer? And, you know, about to put you in tears.
It is, you know, we all remember, or most of us remember that first kill, that first deer, you know, that we got. And, you know, Denise, it is a highlight at that point, you know, of, you know, I was probably 35 years old. I got it deer. No, I wasn't, but you know, I didn't youth hunt, no. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, there was no deer at that point. I mean, if you go back, you know, 50 or 60 years now plus, I mean, I remember the first deer that was shot in the community. You know, there up here, there just wasn't very many deer. And I remember when a guy from St. Louis shot his first deer, Denise, on our property, and that was a huge deal. You know, that was a big deal, and that was in the 60s, you know, in the mid 60s, but things have changed, and conservationists as yourself, you know, has had a big role in that. And what drawed you to become chairman of this group?
Ron asked.
That's
No. Ron told it. No.
You know, I like helping kids, and I watched them come in and be so excited and tell their stories, and it's such a great event, and there's nothing better, you know, than spending time up there and helping them and just watching their smiles and hear their stories, and it is just absolutely fabulous.
When I was in my other life, when I was in politics for a period of time, I had, it was a wonderful opportunity to, I was on a national sportsman council, and we got to do a lot of traveling across the country, meet with federal legislators actually, and you know, we, through that, got to start the first governor's youth hunt in regard to the turkey. And you know, it's still going on. We still do hosting here at the White Mule for these, and they get together at the governor's mansion and have dinner, you know, the night before, and then go back. And the same kind of concept of what you are doing here. And it really, our mentor was from Kansas, that, you know, they had the youth hunt before we did, and that's a huge event out there, as it is here also. And it's a great way to teach the idea, you know, the outdoors, to be able to mentor to, you know, different kids that probably wouldn't have the opportunity. It's a little bit different in regard to the governor, because they have to write an essay, you know, and then that essay is and they usually pick people that would not have the opportunity, AJ, you know what I'm saying, to go out. They live in the town or do whatever, but, you know, they seek the opportunity to go out and go hunting, and then different farmers and, you know, places do that. So it's a worthy thing. And you know, this area here, deer hunting, and I said a culture, and I'm almost going to say to some degree that it's almost a closed family culture situation to a big deal, to a big degree, because if you think about Texas, you think about, you know, Kansas, we go pheasant hunting out to South Dakota, you know, it's commercialized, it's, you know, tourism, all of those things. But here, deer hunting, and for the most part, a lot of turkey hunting, are very close-held family opportunities, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that, you know, empowering these youth, you know what I'm saying, to have other experience and other opportunities is a great thing. So what do you do here? You know what I'm saying, in regard to applying to become part of the Herman Area Youth Hunt, and how do you go about doing this?
As far as being a sponsor or
A youth.
youth.
Let's go with the youth.
they simply just come up the 2 days of our event with or without a harvested deer. If they're just interested and they want to come up and just see other deer that have been harvested and take in the event, they're welcome to do so. Everything is completely free to all the youth who come up. We have fabulous sponsors throughout our area who contribute. So we're able to provide every single thing there is at no cost to anybody who is there. And that goes from the food that we provide, the beverages, to the prizes that we award, to the t-shirts that are given to the kids who come up. And we do stick with the Department of Conservation's youth age, which is 6 to 15. So we do, those are the ones.
Okay,
who
so that's
actually-
the age limit. 6 o'clock, 6 o'clock. I'm thinking about getting up, AJ, at 6 o'clock. No, 6 o'clock, 6 years old to 15.
Yeah.
That's the age limit,
Yeah.
okay.
So those are the ones who actually are going to register for the prizes, who can win, who can get the t-shirts, those sorts of things. But everyone is welcome to come up and take in the event, see what's going on, enjoy the campfire, listen to the stories. It is truly a great event, and there is so much that happens. We give away lots of prizes. We give away firearms, we're giving away safes, crossbows,
Wow.
Stands, all kinds of
stands,
stuff.
yes,
Everything you can think of on.
yep.
Wow, that, and where is your footprint? Where is the event had?
We hold it at the Herman Ride and Gun Club.
Which is
So-
right on 19,
It is.
right for about a mile on this side of Herman.
Just south of Herman, yeah.
South of Herman,
Yes.
yep. It's held there both Saturday and Sunday, October 30th and 31st this year. So it does.
Because
fall
that
on-
ties into the youth season.
Correct. Correct. The deer has to be harvested through the youth weekend. It can't be one taken through archery season. It has to be the youth season weekend, and we do stick with those 2 days.
You mentioned archery season. Are you an archery hunter?
Yep.
So did you get to go out here in the last couple of days, or do you think it was
Haven't made it out yet.
too warm?
It is.
It is, and
When you're swatting mosquitoes. So yeah, we're gonna wait for it to cool down a little bit.
This morning might have been decent, but
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't picked that part of the sport up yet. My daughter, my sons, my son-in-law, I'm sure he was out fighting the mosquitoes. You're my son-in-law, because he lives and does it. But what a great opportunity, and what a great sport. And I want to pick it up someday, but it requires a lot of discipline and time and effort. With the crossbows that Denise mentioned, it does make it a little easier, you know what I'm saying, to some degree, but it's a great time to be out in nature, isn't it?
Yep. And it gives that crossbow section gives the kids time to get out there a little earlier than maybe they'd be able to be strong enough to use a compound bow. They can use the crossbow at an earlier age than we did growing up whenever we were having to use recurves or compounds. So yeah.
That technology has come a long way and back, you know what I'm saying, because the crossbow is an ancient weapon, that was used during medieval times, and I remember the first one that I seen. I was coming home on the bus, and one of the guys in woodworking built his own crossbow, and brought it home. And it was the first one that I had seen, but they're pretty sophisticated today, aren't they?
They are.
Oh, yeah.
You see some of these crossbows, I don't know, upwards of several $1,000, So, it is, it's a fun sport, but it brings all of those elements in it, and you match the weaponry, you know what I'm saying, to the skill set that you want to ascertain. And that's what's interesting, right, about deer hunting to me, is that, you've got all of these different seasons, and each one of those basically takes kind of a different skill set in order to be able to harvest those deer. But the youth season is the earliest.
Right.
They try to pick that because that's the time when they think that the bucks are most active, correct? And the deer are most active is the early youth season, correct?
a little bit before rut, just to give the kids a chance to get their harvest before the actual beginning season takes place during the main part of the rut.
And the youth at 6-year-old, I'm not sure what the exact rules are there because my grandkids ain't quite that old yet. But do they need to have hunter safety? Okay.
Just somebody over here, a guardian, legal guardian needs to be hunting with them.
But all the way through 15, legal guardian?
So I don't know when.
Unless they take the hunter education course.
Okay, so once that certifies them to be a grown-up.
And the age that you can take the hunter education, I think, is 10 years old. That's the minimum before you can take it. So basically what they're doing is taking that 6-year-old to 10-year-old and having an adult with them, teach them what to do.
You know, I remember taking the hunter certification course with my oldest son, Gus, whenever he could get it done. And it's a great program. I mean, they teach you about, well, you all have been through it, I'm sure, but it's a great thing. And now they've added shooting, you know what I'm saying, as part of that skill set. But I remember that I was actually took him, and I didn't have my license or my hunter safety. I didn't really need it, but figured, well, when you go out of state, you know what I'm saying now, it's important that you have them. But I remember him turning in his test before I did, and I was still working on mine, and the instructor come back, and he knew who I was, of course, and said, "Your son made 100."
No pressure.
So I'm thinking, oh my God, you know, I was nervous at that point because the pressure's on and I lucked out, you know what I'm saying? But you know, it is a tremendous program, and it's a you know, it's an opportunity for the kids to learn about the history, about firearms, about conservation, about ethics, you know, and I think that's, are you a golfer, AJ?
Not really.
Well, I'm not either, but you know, they say you're supposed to count how many times or something that it takes you to get the ball in the hole, right?
Right.
Yeah. Hunting ethics or something like that, you know what I'm saying, how many shots it took or whatever, but you know, it teaches the basics of it, and you know, it does a good job. Let me switch to this a little bit because, you know, we're in this area here where tourism and agritourism is extremely important to us, you know, here at the White Mule and at Purdy's, you know, and all of those local eateries and taverns, and I bet you can tell a difference when deer season gets here, can't you, in regard to how many people?
Yeah, there's probably quite a few farms in the area that are probably owned by people that don't live exactly in this area, and you see a big influx of people in that time for sure, and the attire definitely changes in that time frame also.
We used to call them Walmart hunters, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I mean, you can kind of tell because, you know, my shirt is pretty tattered, you know, or it used to be, but, you know, I don't hunt that hard anymore. But we welcome them, you know what I'm saying? We absolutely welcome those, you know, to come out and experience the rural area and the culture that's here, and obviously they enjoy it too. And you know, you mentioned that, you know, a lot of absentee ownerism, of the land here, and that's one of the opportunities that we have here, I think, to have outreach, you know, because a lot of those absentee owners have kids, you know what I'm saying, grandkids, and you know, some of them, like my neighbor, my generous neighbor, that has allowed us and to bring in other youth to hunt on their 600 acres here. It expands our footprint, you know what I'm saying, considerably, to be able to do that. I mean, we're blessed with, you know, with our footprint here, but if you expand that to double, you know, you get to be able to, you know, hunt a large area, you know what I'm saying, and be able to house a lot of, you know, different wildlife, and that makes it good for the kid, because that's one thing, Ron, that you must have had a passion for when you bought your farm.
Yeah.
Was that part of your vision to?
It was a big part of my vision. I had a 2-year-old son when I bought the place, and of course now he's 48. But you talk about a first deer.
That'd be about 46 years ago you've been part of Gasconade County.
Yes. They don't tell them though.
Well,
They just think I.
you must have been
moved.
3 when you bought the land, I guess.
But no, I remember his first deer. We were in a tree stand and we pulled everything up with a rope. He got the deer and it went down, and he kind of looked at me and I said, well, you need to go down and you know, make sure. Okay, well, he did not use the ladder. He slid down the rope. He wasn't in no big hurry, right? So then I sent his firearm down to him, and he thought he'd seen it move.
You mean after he shot it? Or?
Yeah, it's laying there for 2 minutes. So anyway, he finished it off with another shot.
How old was he about?
He was 9.
9 years old.
Yeah.
Well, that's, you know, that's a favorite way to hunt, is out of a tree stand or a blind, you know, and there's a certain amount of safety that
Right.
that need to be considered in regard to that. There's no doubt. And you know what? I don't particularly like to climb that high anymore, you know?
I don't either.
Huh?
I don't either. I'm a big body, so I sit on the ground.
And especially, AJ, some of those ladders that have been around a while, you know?
I've actually gone through one of those old ladders that's been around for a while. That's part of the reason I sit on the ground.
There's no question about it that, you know, that's important. Well, part of the people that sponsor you, you've got part of the information here. I see the NRA, that you got an NRA bag there, but there's a multitude of businesses and fraternities, you know, that do help sponsor. Who are part of those?
Who are?
Yeah, who are part of your
All
sponsors?
the meat processors, they're all in. They're going to give us some hamburger. AJ has been gracious enough, and his mom and dad, that they make chili that we serve the whole time up there. And we have hot dogs, and we have bratwurst, so you can get a chili dog. Walmart donated 20 dozen donuts, so the kids won't go
What the rest of the kids gonna do?
Well, you and I are going to be there. Forgot about that. And the chocolate box in Herman this year is going to give us 35 pounds of chocolate.
Well, that's a necessity.
Right.
You know, for either youth and our, you know, adults. Keeping your energy level up there, you know, is important, you know.
Well, I wanted to thank you for your donation.
That's-
And like I tell every person I get money from, any business, come see where your money's going.
Yes, absolutely.
yeah.
Come up there. Once you see it, your mouth drops open.
I've seen pictures of that, Denise, and, you know, it is an impressive array, you know, that you have there. Does the NRA give you things to, you know, to give out or to?
This is their first year.
Okay.
So, first year for NRA, so we'll be interested to see what they do, but they are going to give the bags, and we're going to use those sight-in day, which is October 23rd.
It's a good-looking bag.
Yes. Yes, the gentleman, I met him at another organization I belong to, and he looked through this book, and my son-in-law, and that's one thing we forgot, and we'll get into that in a minute. My son-in-law had pictures going up on the wall of kids with their deer and all that. He come and he looked through this book, he turned to me and said, the NRA is in. It was that simple. And most people that you go to for donations, once they understand what you're doing, some of them don't believe in hunting, and you're not going to get them anyway, but the majority of them say, how much to get in? And your daughter asked me that, and my recitation, if you want to call it that. I don't know your business. I don't know how well off your business is. You give what you feel like you want to give. And it's been amazing with some of the people. I mean,
It's fabulous.
yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some of your prizes, you know, and they're huge investments. There's no question about it at all. They're a huge investment in our youth. But you know, that's what we do, Denise. You know, I mean, if you look around at other youth things such as, you know, the fair and selling the livestock and those particular things, you know, the generosity of businesses when it comes to supporting the youth is really through the roof. You know, on that note, the Gasconade County Fair, $480,000 is what was
That's amazing.
written directly to you know, the youth. Now there's, you know, there's livestock, you know, that has a value there too, but 2/3 of that at least, and maybe 3/4 of that is out of the, you know, philanthropy and giving back, you know, to the youth. So you've got, in our area, you've got a pretty easy sell in regard to supporting our youth. If you look at Herman and New Haven and, you know, Owensville, the school districts, tell me that, you know, the people of our area don't take care of our youth to some degree, and that, you know, that makes it easy.
Well, anybody has any doubt, they can just come check out the event, and I guarantee that doubt will be washed away.
So do you have a big buck club in this, or do you
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We actually award the top 3 bucks, and we have 3 taxidermists who actually give shoulder mounts. So Adventure Trail Inns, JP Ivan out of Lynn, Tall Tales, Dustin Chastain, and then Gary Kupke with Kupke Taxidermy. They provide shoulder mounts. So the top 3 actually get mounted. No charge. No charge to the kiddo. We also give them their choice of a prize. We've got usually a gun. There's been a safe. There's been a crossbow. They get number 1 gets to pick. They get a trophy. Am I missing something on the top 3? I think that's the top 3 get those items. We also award the heaviest doe. She gets prizes too. We do a prize for the kids who harvest their first deer, go into a drawing, and somebody wins that if it's their first deer. We do a drawing for anybody who harvests all weekend. They go in a special drawing just because they harvested a deer that weekend, and they have an opportunity to win a firearm. So there's lots of different ways to win.
You
Or
also don't have to harvest a deer to win something.
correct,
So
correct.
even if you don't get something.
So you can come in and draw for a prize at
Your name
the...
will get put in the drawing to win prizes, yes.
Yeah.
And they don't have to harvest deer, so if they do go hunting and they don't harvest something, they should still come
Right.
and not feel
Sure.
like they can't win anything.
Yeah.
Because it's the social, the storytelling, the collaboration
It's a
amongst...
camaraderie event. That
Right.
is exactly what it is.
Well, and the motto we go by is nobody stands so tall as when they bend over to help a child. And that's what we do.
There's no question about it. That
Right.
So how many? I mean, just out of curiosity, do you really track on the? You don't know how many youth are hunting out there. You know what I'm saying? But of those that come in your camp, do half of them get a deer, do you think? Or I'm sure you don't track that information. A third of them, maybe?
I would say a third.
You think it's a third?
We track every kid who comes in. So we do track, they come and register with us because they can win a prize. So everybody registers. And then of course those who win a prize, we record that as well because we score their deer. We had a little over 100 deer last year and
100 deer.
Yep.
yes, yes.
So that means around 300 participated, give or take?
Oh, easily,
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the first year we set a record. We got 3 deer we checked
did.
in. 3 deer. And we all looked at one another like, are we doing
Okay.
the right thing? And then it took off.
Yeah. We just had to get started. But
And this is the 401c.
501.
I mean, 501c3. You know, so it's all donated, you know what I'm saying? Everything is there, and it's a perpetual, you know, opportunity there for people to make sure that the money is only used for those particular defined purposes.
Books are wide open.
And, you know, they can, you know, do those particular things. Well, there's got to be, anybody got a favorite story on a kid that harvested a deer that is maybe unique, and maybe you can embellish it a little bit. This is only the radio.
We won't have to embellish this one. The young man checked his deer in, you remember this. They put it back on a carrier rack on the back of a, well, it was an SUV. And 3 girls come up to look at the deer, and this gentleman had them mesmerized for probably, what, 35 minutes until his dad broke it up?
He was telling a story?
Oh, boy, yeah.
Sorry. Yep.
We have hunters like that in our camp, too.
Got it.
Well, and that's the thing with them, I've never been sitting around the campfire. But you know, one of us needs to go with a recorder, because I'm sure it really gets heavy over there. But these kids, it's unbelievable. And once you get a sponsor to come up, they oh my God, those are their exact words.
And you know, Ron, there'll be a large book out of that hunt in the next few years. You know, if he's got those abilities to tell that story and to, you know, talk about it. But that's, you know, that's how we learn. You know what I'm saying? That's how we be able to keep those, the heritage, you know what I'm saying, and that culture alive is, you know, there's a reason for that, you know, to tell those stories. So the event is coming up in October here. It's on the first, when is it?
30th and 31st.
30th and 31st
Yep.
at the gun club at Herman. And is there, you got a website or anything there, or do you got?
We have a Facebook page.
Facebook page, okay, so they can go to Facebook and put in Herman Area Youth, and they can get the information in regard to that, and probably what kind of prizes, I'm guessing, or whatever, you know what I'm saying, that, well, and that probably fluctuates some, I'm guessing, you know, between now and then also, but, you know, things that have did, you know, prizes that have been there, you know, in the past. And my guess is that your success will continue, you know, because the more the youth you get involved, the more that they talk, and, you know, if they like it, it grows,
It's
correct?
more the parents. We're not missing this anymore.
Right.
Well, no,
They get plenty of free food when they get up there.
Yeah.
True. And we keep the leaderboard.
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
likes watching the leaderboard.
The highest
You know,
score buck, you know. so
Where's
you
the
get-
big score? Where's the heavy doe? Where do I fit? Have I moved? Yeah.
you know, that's the thing, and, you know, that's the thing that we missed, you know, in checking these deer in. And I understand the rhyme and the reason for it, don't misunderstand me, I mean, but it was a big thing to go to the Dutch mill, you know what I'm saying, when we had harvested 3 or 4 deer, and you're the same way, correct?
Yep, you walk up and down and see if you can find your buddies in line and check out the back of the truck, see what's going on, and then wait your turn. Yeah, we don't have that anymore, so this is one way to really bring that back to the community.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that bragging rights is, you know, very important, and, you know, there's a certain amount of commerce, you know, that's related to that, you know, is kind of missed out on too, to some degree. But I will say this, that the deer hunters are generous, you know, in what they do, and, you know, they're always out there supporting, you know, the community, and it's vacation, you know, and it's, you know, a great time for them to spend, you know.
Also, the 23rd we're gonna have a sight-in day at the Herman Rod and Gun Club.
Okay.
There'll be some NRA certified instructors, I'm one of them. And how many people live in the city and do not have a place to fire their gun to sight it in? I mean, I've got a 150-yard rifle range on my place, and I know AJ's got a sight in, you do. But the people that don't have the opportunity to sight their rifle in, we're gonna give it to them. And just come up, look me up, or whoever's at the door.
Tell you what I'm going to do, Ron. I'm going to give you my gun, and you go ahead and sight it. If you don't mind for me, because
You're gonna have to show me which end the bullet comes out of.
you know, I've got several of those, and I'm not sure that I haven't fired a shot, you know, in several years. I do carry it around, you know what I'm saying, just in case. But
Well, I'll tell you what, you come up and I'll give you donuts and coffee. How's that?
that sounds like an offer. There's
Okay.
no question about it at all. But no, you're exactly correct. To have a safe place, to have experts there, you know what I'm saying, because unless you're really a big gun advocate, you know, sighting your rifle is the most important thing, and getting used to that functionality of it, and you know, whether it's a bolt down A bolt or an automatic, or you know, a lever action, or whatever that, a pump, whatever that happens to be, especially on youth, that requires that confidence building, you know, that is there, and they need proper instruction on that, and you know, sighting those in. But I have noticed, you know, in all honesty, you know, I don't know what it is, Denise, if it's hand-eye coordination, but the youth are phenomenal shooters. You know, their concentration level is, you know, through the roof, and their accuracy is, it is, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if that comes from the
gaming.
It's a steady hand. I think the older you get, the less steady your hand gets, I think. Me anyways.
yeah, that's, it's
actually little girls shoot better than the boys do. At least in my family so
AJ.
far.
Don't tell
You can say that
everybody.
all day long. It's good.
Hey, look what Allie, my niece, did last year.
Yeah, she did
One
great.
shot, boom,
One shot,
right,
straight to the
bullseye.
neck. You know, Charlie, let me add to that too. If somebody is an NRA certified instructor and they want to assist, excuse me, with our sight-in day on the 23rd, give us a call. We would love to have additional NRA certified instructors that day, so they can reach out to us and be a part of that event as well.
So I think that probably as an important a date as the hunt itself, you know, to familiarize, you know what I'm saying, coming to the gun club, to get the youth acclimated and get them thinking about them, get them focused on what it is. That's an important event to be able to do that. And you know, if they're shooting their own rifles or doing whatever, you know, I shot trap for a few years, and there's a certain amount. Well, you're a golfer, or kind of a golfer.
Yeah, totally a golfer.
You know, I don't either, but you know, I can't hit the ball out of the pasture by myself. If there's 30 people around me, forget it. You know, I won't even do it. But that's another element. You know what I'm saying, to get the youth prepared, to make sure that they know, you know, the safety, you know, factors, and that their gun is sighted in, and the most important thing is where you put the muzzle, correct? All of us that did it. Are you doing bow and arrow or crossbow at that point, or just rifle?
Just rifle.
Just rifle, okay. So is there youth for, I mean, can they use any weapon on the youth hunt?
They can, yeah. It's not limited, but they can only use rifles during that weekend, during the 30th and 31st.
Okay.
I'm sorry, they can use anything, but they can only, the youth can only hunt that weekend with rifles. If other, like folks like our age, we can hunt with bows.
Okay.
Still that weekend.
Okay, but the youth can only use
Rifles.
at that
Correct.
juncture, yeah. Well, you know, these bows and these crossbows, at a 6-year-old, take a lot of pull, you know what I'm saying? So, I understand the rationale. What would you say would be the most popular caliber that youth would
Right
use?
now, it's a 6.5 Creedmoor, I think. That's what's
I
being,
think it's definitely gained a lot of popularity
Right.
recently. It seems like, before a lot of youths used the 243, but it seems like that's kind of going a little bit away, and a lot more of them are using the 6.5 Creedmoor. At least people that are newer into it.
Newer. And when I grew up, my kids grew up with the 30-30,
Yeah.
That and that's still got to be used to some degree. I mean,
caliber has
I actually
taken
use
more.
the 30-40 Craig is what I use, so similar to 30-30.
Yeah, it's been the 30-30 has been the most popular caliber for taking deer in the state of Missouri.
well, it's a great all-around little gun. You know what I'm saying? That if you're hunting in a brush, you know what I'm saying. A lot of those lever actions, some have scope, some don't, but nice open sights that's easy to do, and it's a natural thing, the lever action, and they're safe, handleable weapons, that is there, because most of those mechanisms you got a cock, you know what I'm saying, and a safety on it, so,
Well, if you have a new rifle, you just put a scope on it. We're going to have the equipment up there to basically get the scope sighted in.
bore sighting.
Bore
sighting, yes.
Right. So that'll be up there.
So that's simply I don't know exactly the technology that's applicable, a bore sight.
It's a laser and
It's a laser inside that gets you
close.
really close, right?
Well, I don't know how to use mine. My grandson will be there. He knows how to use it.
Of course they do,
Her name's Denise.
But anybody, come up at the event, see what we're doing.
Hey, you've got to wait a minute.
We had that last year with a grandmother who brought her 3 grandkids up there and came over to me and said, I want to donate at the event.
You want me to do it?
I told her no. I said, okay, whatever you feel like.
And Purdy's providing the chili, and they'll be there. We're going to throw some snack sticks in,
All right.
for
That'd be
that
awesome.
day. And
Dozer approves of those if that's what he's getting over here.
okay, you've been eating a few. You like them?
You like that sausage? Yeah?
That's good. But a lot of this, really comes from, you mentioned that the processors are all in on this thing. Of course they are, because most of this goes through their shop. I mean, there's still some old timers out there that still make their own sausage. I mean, quite a few actually, but yeah, me too. I've been a little while, but it's a good experience, and there again, we're fortunate enough, in my opinion, to have the conservation, that works on this, and Share the Harvest, is I'm sure a program that you all are, familiar with, where if they get youth gets a deer and they can't use all the meat, they can take it to the processor, and the processor will make sure, and most of those are through donation. The processor will make sure that they go to a need there that is covered, and that's also a very good, a very good thing,
Well, Denise has made up a pamphlet of all the processors that support us and their phone numbers and all that. So if you get a deer, you get a pamphlet, you can look through it, pick your processor either close to your house or one you've heard about, and it gives their information when they're open and all that.
And not because we're involved with that, but the processors themselves that still process deer have had to make a significant investment, you know what I'm saying, to do what they do, because mixing the meat and mixing the kill floor, and the processing, you know, it can't be done, you know what I'm saying, anymore because of safety, and I totally think it's a great idea, but those processors that still do it and have made the investment, my hat's off to them, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
in regard to that. So when you get your bill for your sausage, understand,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, of the investment, you know, that has to be made, and the time and the handwork that goes into that. And if you haven't made sausage before, you understand that there's a lot of time in it, there's a lot of expertise in it, and sometimes it even takes adult beverages, you know.
It always did when I make sausage, but
Hey, what a pleasure it's been, and let's talk again about how people can get a hold of you. I mean, they don't have to get a hold of you, but let's give them the dates with the sighting in, when the rifles will be sighted in again. Is it 23rd?
23rd of October,
From what time?
10 to 3:30.
10 to 3:30.
Yep.
And that's a Saturday, I'm assuming, or
That
not?
is a Saturday, and it's the one right before the youth season.
Okay, so bring your rifle, bring your shells. There'll be somebody there to help you.
Earplugs and eyewear.
Well, that's a great point, you know, huh? Yeah, I know. But yeah, bring your safety
Yep.
gear with you, bring your gun with you, and there'll be people there to help you from day one, and then you can start the discussion in regard to who's going to have the biggest, who's going to have the best, and where it's going to be. And then, of course, it's the Saturday and Sunday of youth season.
Yep.
Is when you'll be meeting at what time?
So October 30th and 31st, we will be there by 9 a.m. Earlier, I'm sure, but 9 is what we're saying, 9 to 1, and then back again 4 to 8. So everybody can come up, register for prizes. People's Savings Bank is donating T-shirts for all the kids who come up, so everybody will get a
That's awesome.
T-shirt, and then register to win prizes. Enjoy the food.
Matter of fact, I like your T-shirts. I mean, somebody did a great job putting those together, and they've got a picture of my buck there on front of it, right? You know.
Got your book?
Well, see the size of this here?
yeah. I'll tell you, make a lot of sausage down there, you know.
Those XXX large,
Yeah.
they do a good job. Well, it's been a great morning, and I appreciate your commitment to the kids, and I appreciate what you're doing for conservation and for supporting our youth and our communities. This is who we are. You know, I read, you know, recently on hospitality, you know, and it talks about hospitality being the soul of humanity. So, you know, that's kind of what we do in our business, you know what I'm saying, and that's exactly what you're doing here.
Right.
It is the soul to humanity to be hospitable and to take care and to share generously with those individuals that don't have
Right.
what we have. So great for you to be with us today. Good hunting. Good luck. You all have youth, I'm assuming, or, you know, you're all passionately, and there's youth,
Oh, yeah.
you know, so you're all passionately involved with that. And some of you even some of us have grandkids.
Great grandkid.
You're ahead of me there.
Yeah.
But you got married at 4. According to my math, you know, if you're less than 15, your son's
Oh,
40.
right, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The only thing older than me is dirt. What are you talking about?
Hey, thank you all. Good to have you. Our doors are always open to the White Mule. Come back next year, you know what I'm saying, and give us a report on how you did, and we'll talk about our passions once again.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Good to have you, and God bless you. Next week we'll be back. I'm not exactly sure what guest we have, but my daughter Charlie is working on it, I'm sure. So good to have you, and here on KTUI 1560 AM, 94.1 FM, or possibly you're watching on Facebook Live. Have a great week, and get out now. Think about now making some plans to get out over this beautiful weekend that's coming our way, and enjoy the youth. great to have you, and good hunting.
Haven't been moving enough. An estimated 80% of Americans aren't getting their recommended daily physical activity.